Hello, I'm doing a guide on how to do Maroudon farming on a Warlock in Classic World of Warcraft. So for this, you'd probably want to have minor speed increase on your boots. You can do without, but it's considerably easier with the enchant. Also, I definitely recommend you to have either mining or herbalism before starting this, or both if possible, as it's going to considerably increase your amount of gold per hour. Uh, Herbalism for me increased my gold power with about 30%. Um, so if you have both mining and herbalism, it's gonna be lit. All right. So as a warlock, you can run multiple specs. I found the easiest one to do this particular farm is the demonic sacrifice into shadow mastery. Um, because you get the siphon life, and you get the increased shadow damage and drain from shadow mastery, and you also get the nightfall procs, which are all extremely useful in here. With that said, you can still easily do it in raid spec, at least the raid spec I'm using, which is demonic sacrifice ruin. What's nice about this is it's a tiny bit slower than the Shadow Mastery and Demonic Sacrifice, right? But this way you won't have to respec every time you want to go in here. Spec away from your raid spec, of course, right? So what you do here is you pull the Tinker. Start out with Shadowbolt Immolate, and you put up your dots, your corruption into Doom. And when you've done that, you basically you keep dotting him. Keep your dots up, and you just keep LOSing him. Uh, and you just wait for him to run up to you, right? You just keep cutting him up the ledges here, up the hills. He's gonna take a while to come up, because he's doing the flamethrower animation. So for which pet you wanna sacrifice, if you're running the sacrifice build, I would definitely recommend you to do the Voidwalker sacrifice. It gives you a lot of sustain. Also, you won't have to use any food or drinks in here, because you can simply regenerate your health between the fights, um, running back and forth. You can, I mean, if you're feeling ballsy, you can do the succubus sacrifice, but I wouldn't recommend it, man. It's at least I've had less success with it. Let's put it that way. So you wanna try as good as you can to drain each boss for soul shard, because the amount of soul shards you get in here is limited. Especially in the beginning, you're gonna be using a lot of soul shards, mainly on healthstones and sacrifices, because you might be dying a few times to get it down, to learn it. But I mean, once you've run it a few times, it's super easy. I hardly ever die, and I rarely use the Hellstone. So, alright. Let's go pick up that. I guess I'll show my gear here, for those wondering. Also, I would recommend if you have some pieces with a good amount of stamina on it, it's gonna be worth using in here above just pure DPS pieces, and I will show you why when we get to the princess. But having a good health pool in here is definitely a thing that's gonna make your runs a lot smoother and a lot less stressful. Um, yeah. Alright, so I always try to pull her around here. Want to run up, Shadow Bolt, Immolate, into Corruption, and Doom. And then we run. Just keep reapplying Corruption. Now, while we're killing her, I'm gonna explain another way to do this. So once she hits you, which she will, you want a Death Coiler. And this is also why you want a good health pool. Um, because she will run you down, usually at least once in a fight, and hit you. And what she does is she'll attack you with each of her arms. It seems that they have a cooldown that she only hits you with them like multiple times if you've been kiting her for a good while. I'd say like 20 seconds. So if you're not prepared for that, she'll chunk you. As you saw, it took around 60% of my health. And if you get unlucky and they crit, they can shred you really quickly. So that's why you should have a good health pool while doing this. All right. So as you can see, we're not using the pet here, as a lot of people are, because I feel like this is more easy. It's less pet management, and the buff from sacrifice usually is enough to sustain you up. As long as you death coil her whenever she gets to you, or use a health potion or a health stone. But if you're all running pet spec, so here we did our second doom. You want to doom her twice, and then do agony, because you don't want to risk the second doom killing her and spawning a doom guard. It's more in the way than anything, and it's a waste of time having to deal with that. So if you're using the pet, you want to be you want to put it in her melee range. It doesn't need to be attacking her, but it needs to be in her melee range to trigger the AoE. Because unlike on private servers, the AoE is not a time trigger thing. It's actually only triggered when something's in her melee range. So that is why some people are struggling with killing her. So you wanna use your pet, keep it in her melee range, and then immediately pull it out when she uses AoE. Otherwise, she's gonna kill it, because it's also gonna hit your pet 5 times as well, of course, as she did you, and it's gonna kill it quite fast if you don't watch out. As you can see, this is quite easy. So you just kite her around. Um, I'm gonna show you how to kill rotgrip as well for those who are interested. However, this is only possible for people with the Shadow Mastery and Demonic Sacrifice spec, or at least you need to have Grim Reach, because you're not gonna be able to reach him if you don't have it. I'm not actually gonna kill him, but I'll show you how to do it. It's quite simple. Make sure you're above 80% healthy when you jump down. So you want to wait here for rotgrip to swim by, either here or here, depending on which side he's in. You don't want to pull it over here, because if you pull it on this side of the bridge, it's gonna pull this Hydra down here. Also, this one is also gonna be pulled. This one is gonna pull 95% of the time, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you want to jump down and kill it and then run back up here, but I think that's a waste of time. So what you want to do is you want to wait for rotgrip to swim by, and then you put a Curse of Doom on him and a Corruption. He's gonna run up here, swim through the tunnel, come up here, circle around, up here. So you wait for him here, and whenever he gets in range, right, you give him a new Curse of Doom, while you're kiting him, of course, and a new Corruption. When you've done that, you jump back down. Now you gotta watch out for the Hydras, because if it's ahead of the Crocodile, it's gonna hit you multiple times like the Princess does. So it is priority number 1 to fear this one always, because it's gonna instantly take away 50% of your health pool, and if that happens, you can't kill the Crocodile. So you jump back down after fearing the Hydra and putting new Doom on rotgrip. You jump down, you wait for him to run back down, and the second Doom is gonna have popped by the time he gets you, and he's gonna be around, I wanna say 5 to 3k HP, usually around 3k XP HP for me. And from there you should be able to kill him. If you're having trouble with killing him, you can, when you jump down, summon your White Walker and be ready to sacrifice, and make sure you have health stone and potion, of course. So after doing that, you can swim in here. This is only needed if you have herbalism and mining, because we have a ghost mushroom spawn right here, a blind wind spawn over here, and another mushroom spawn right up here. As far as mithril spawns, I'm not too sure. I know there's like 1 or 2 here. But yeah, that sums up everything you need to know about farming this as a Warlock or Shadow Priest. Thank you.